My name is Fred Kubitz, and I live in Sterling, Colorado, and I volunteer for several organizations, and I'm involved in several organizations. Starting from the top of the list, I volunteer as a veteran service officer for the state of Colorado in Logan County, Sterling, Colorado. I assist our veterans up there as a full-time volunteer, taking care of our veterans in the community. We've got about 1,907 veterans that are registered with the VA healthcare. I am a full-time volunteer chaplain for the American Legion, post number 20 out of Sterling, Colorado. I am a life member of VFW post 3541 in Sterling, Colorado. And I'm a life member of the DAV as well. So that's what I do. And I'm a father of 4 and a husband. And in my spare time, I go home and visit the family. I've been involved with the American Legion VFW now for about 4 years, and I will celebrate my first anniversary as the Veteran Service Officer in March. Yes, as a military policeman, responding to criminal activity in a garrison environment. One of my favorite stories, it's not a racial story, but that's how it fell when I was stationed at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. We had a fight in progress at the bowling alley one evening. Well, security information or just FYI, the canines always respond to the back door or the side door because when you knock on the front door as law enforcement, they want to run out the back. And who's better to catch somebody running than a canine? So I respond, I show up on scene, and I park at the back of the building like I'm required to do, get my dog out of the vehicle, and then we hear shots fired, possibly shots fired over the radio. And so that changes the dynamic of the response. So I grab my shotgun and take up a tactical defensive position, and out of the side doors come these 3 African Americans, full tilt, running as fast as they can. And they're running right towards me, and I step out behind the vehicle and I holler, "Halt, military police canine unit. Halt or I'll release the dog." And they all 3 stop, they throw their hands in the air, and the guy says, "Don't let that dog bite me, I'm black." I said, "My dog's colorblind, get down on the ground." So, true story. That is one of my favorite canine stories that I like sharing. The next canine story I love sharing from the military was I was 19 years old and been in country in Korea for about 3 months. My first sergeant called me to his office and said, "Kubitz, I'm going to send you on a detail up north for 6 weeks." And I said, "First sergeant, I just got to in country and I got my dog, and are you sure?" He says, "Well, you're SRT, which is Military Police Special Reaction Team." He says, "You're a team member and they need guys up north." And I said, "Well, I'm getting ready to certify with my dog." And he says, "How long you been married?" I was like, 12 months, first sergeant, a year and 2 months. And he's like, "Okay, so you're still a newlywed?" And I say, "Yes, first sergeant." And he says, "Well, you'll do great." I said, "Well, do I really have to go? Because I'm canine," like thinking I was special. And he said, "Okay." So I get back to my kennels, and then I had to run 2.5 miles uphill to be in his office within 15 minutes because he wasn't finished with me. He just wanted me to get some oxygen in my brain so I could think clearly, right? So physical fitness always does that. So I get back to his office, and he says, "Well, guess what, Kubitz? Not only do they need an SRT member, but they would love to have you and your dog for 6 weeks up north in the cold." I was like, "Okay, first sergeant, I suppose." Well, I got to Seoul and checked in, and it happened to be the USO tour for the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. 6 weeks with the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders with a 98-pound German Shepherd whose name was Rex, and all the girls, the young ladies, were like, "Oh, he's got such a cute little dog," and they'd love up on my dog, and just it was the best magnet and the hardest piece of, "Please, I'm married. I've been married for 14 months. Don't make it any tougher on me." So thank you for letting me share those, but I hope that brings some humor to the servicemen and women or to the viewing audience. If I was trapped in an ambush, who would those 2 individuals be? Well, One of them is still on the other side of the glass, and his wife is sitting literally with her back to us right now, and his name is Wes Doss. Wes was my sergeant at my first duty assignment. He mentored me as a young military policeman. He helped me to get to SRT school, the Special Response Team school. He encouraged my military career, and we've been friends since 1988. So, and Wes is right over there. He's looking at me making faces. So, yes. The other individual that I would want to have with me, meeting him in person the first time with this event and in the SHOT Show here, would be Command Sergeant Major Christensen. I would, a lot of people in the civilian world can be great managers, okay? You can go to schools and be a great manager. You can manage very authoritarian or with fear, but Sergeant Major Christensen leads by example. He is not a manager who leads with fear and that type of, you'll do it my way or the highway. He is a leader, and not only myself, but probably every able-bodied individual would follow him, and that's what makes a leader. You cannot lead somebody if they're not willing to follow you. So I would choose Wes Doss and Command Sergeant Major Christensen.